Here I will discuss Taylor's theorem in complex analysis. So let's go to the statement. So you see, what does it say? If you have a function fz which is analytic in a domain D, then for any z belongs to this disk which is fully contained in D, f has the Taylor series expansion of this form in this disk, okay, where n is given by this formula, right? Fn z0, that means nth order derivative of f at the point z0 divided by n factorial, right? So what does it say actually? You see, so whenever you have a function fz which is analytic in a domain G, okay, there you can select a point z0, okay, because fz is analytic everywhere in this domain, right? So here at the point z0 also the function is analytic, right? So you can choose any point over here in D, okay. With respect to this point, you can form a disk, right? That means, so delta z0r represents a disk, okay, which is this one, okay. It is set of all z such that mod of z minus z0 is strictly less than r. So with respect to z0, you can have the largest possible disk contained in D, where you have the expansion of the function fz in this form with respect to the point z0, okay. So what is the form? So fz equal to n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z0 power n. That means whenever a function fz is analytic in a domain D, so with respect to any point belongs to that domain, you can expand the function fz in Taylor's expansion, okay, which is of this form, okay. So let us take some examples. So let us take fz equal to e power z, okay. So which is our exponential function, complex exponential function. As we have already known, e power z is entire function. What does it mean? That means it is analytic in the entire complex plane, okay. So it is everywhere analytic, right? Okay, so it is e power z is entire function. What does it mean? It is analytic in the entire complex plane, okay. So according to Taylor's theorem, what do you have? If you have an analytic function, so you can expand that function e power z with respect to any point in this domain, okay. So let us try to, so z equal to 0 is a point, right? So with respect to which we can expand e power z in Taylor's expansion, okay. So according to the theorem, what do you have? So since e power z is analytic, so I am choosing the point z0 to be 0. I want to expand e power z with respect to 0, okay. So then what happens? According to Taylor's theorem, the expansion is an z minus z0. What is z0? It is 0 power n, okay. N equal to 0 to infinity, okay. Now what is the formula of an here? It is f n z0, that means nth order derivative of f at the point 0 divided by n factorial. So this is true for n equal to 0, 1, 2, okay. So here you can see our task is to just determine the coefficient and we are done, isn't it? So what is your fz here? Fz is equal to e power z, okay. So what is the dash of z? It is e power z and so on, right? So what is nth order derivative of z? It is e power z, okay. So what is the requirement? It is nth order derivative of f at the point 0. So what is fn 0 here? It is e power 0, that is equal to 1, okay. So what is our an? You can see it is 1 by n factorial for n equal to 0, 1, 2 up to, okay. So what is our expansion? You see, so e power z can be written as summation of n. What is n? It is 1 by n factorial times z power n, okay. That is equal to n equal to 0 to infinity. So this is valid in mod z less than infinity, isn't it? Okay, so what is the expansion? You can see it is 1 plus z square by 2 factorial plus z cube by 3 factorial and so on. Okay, so this is the expansion of e power z with respect to the point 0. Similarly, suppose I want to expand e power z with respect to some other point. Okay, so expand e power z, suppose with respect to the point 1. Okay, what does it mean? So since e power z is analytic in the entire complex plane, so I can expand e power z with respect to 1 also, right? So here our z0 is 1. Okay, so according to Taylor's expansion, what is our fz? So it is an z minus z0. What is z0? It is 1 power n. Okay, this is the expansion. Now our task is to determine our an. Now what is our an? It is fn z0, that is fn evaluated at 1 divided by n factorial. Okay, n equal to 0, 1. That means you can find all those coefficients present over here. Okay, up to infinity. So what is our fn z? Just now we have derived, it is e power z itself, right? So what is n? So it is e power 1, that is e divided by n factorial. Okay, so what is the expansion of e power z with respect to 1? It is an, that is e by n factorial equal to 0 to infinity into z minus 1 whole power n. Okay, so this is the expansion. Okay, so it is e times, so z minus 1 power 0, so it is 1 plus z minus 1 plus z minus 1 whole square by 2 factorial z minus 1 power 3 divided by 3 factorial and so on, right? So this is the expansion of fz e power z with respect to the point 1. Okay, next let us take if z is equal to sine z. Okay, sine z is also an entire function like exponential z. What does it mean? It is analytic in the entire complex plane. Okay, so according to Taylor's theorem, we can expand this in Taylor's expansion. Okay, so let us take z0 as 0. Okay, so in that case, if I expand sine z with respect to 0, so what do you get? You will get an z minus 0 power n, right? N varies from 0 to infinity. Okay, what is our n? It is nth order derivative of f at the point 0 divided by n factorial, where n is 0, 1, 2 up to infinity, right? So let us try to determine fn 0. Now what is first order derivative of f? It is cos z, right? Now you see cos z can be written as sine pi by 2 plus z. Next, what is f double dash z? So it is minus of sine z, which I can write as sine 2 pi by 2 plus z. So if you continue the process, you will get nth order derivative of z as sine n pi by 2 plus z. Okay, what do you require? You require fn at the point 0, nth order derivative at the point 0. So it would be sine n pi by 2. Okay, so now let us write, let us break it. So for n equal to 0, it is a0. Okay, then it is a1z plus a2z square plus a3z cube and so on, right? So this is the expansion. Now what is f0 here? You see it is f of 0 plus what is a1? It is f dashed at the point 0 into z plus f double dashed at the point 0 by 2 factorial into z square plus f triple dashed at the point 0 by 3 factorial into z cube and so on, right? So let us try to determine the values. So what is sine at the point 0? It is 0. After that, What is f dashed of 0? You see, if you put n is equal to 1, you will get sine pi by 2. That means 1. Okay. Achha, next, what is f double dash 0? It is sine pi. So it is further 0. Next, if you put n is equal to 3, it will be sine 3 pi by 2. That means minus of 1 times z cube by 3 factorial. So if you put n is equal to 4, you will get 0 further and so on. Okay, z power 5 by 5 factorial and so on. So you can see, so all the even order derivative at the point zeros are 0 and all the odd order derivative at the point 0 is minus 1 power m. Okay, so what is the expansion then about sine z? So let us write it properly in the next slide. Sine z as z minus z cube by 3 factorial plus z power 5 by 5 factorial. Okay, 7 by 7 factorial and so on. So I can write this as minus 1 power n z power 2n plus 1 by 2n plus 1 factorial. Okay, so this is the expansion of sine z, okay, with respect to the point 0. So similarly, you can find the expansion of cos z with respect to 0. Okay, that is going to be minus 1 power n z power 2n by 2n factorial. Okay, next, sine hyperbolic z, you try in your own. It is z power 2n plus 1 by 2n plus 1 factorial cos hyperbolic z okay. Next, let us try to expand this function fz in mod z less than 2. Okay, that means we are going to expand this function fz in the disk mod z less than 2. That means z minus 0 less than 2. Okay, what does it mean? The hints is already given. That means we have to expand the function with respect to the point 0 in this disk. That means we have to generate the expansion of this form, right? That means with respect to 0, that means z minus 0 power n, this kind of form we are going to generate. Okay, if fz is analytic within this disk, okay, then only we can get Taylor's expansion, okay, with respect to the point 0, which must be of this form. Okay, now you see whether fz is analytic in this disk. Okay, so what are the singularities? So what is called a singularity of the function? I have already discussed in my previous video that if you have for a function fz, okay, if fz fails to be analytic, okay, at some point say z0, okay, but it is analytic, in some neighborhood of z0, okay, then z0 is called the singularity of the function fz. Okay, z0 is called singularity of the function fz, right? Okay, so what does it mean? You see, so z square minus of 1 by z plus 2 z plus 3. Okay, so here our disk is, so this is the disk we have, so which is centered as 0 and radius 2, right? Okay, so this is the point 2 0, so it is minus 2 0, right? So this is the disk we have. Okay, so we are going to expand the function in this disk. z minus 0 less than 2, right? Now what are the singularities of the function? You see, it is z equal to minus of 2. At the point minus 2, the function is not defined, okay? And z is equal to minus of 3. So these are the singularities of the function fz, right? So which are not included in this domain, isn't it? So z, the domain is mod z minus 0 strictly less than 2. That means the point 2 and minus 2 are not included in my region, isn't it? So in the given region, so this is the disk delta 0 2, okay, that means centered at 0 and radius 2. So in this case the function fz is analytic, right? So if I expand with respect to any point over here, say with respect to 0, I'm going to get an expansion of this form. Okay, so let's check whether we are going to get this form, right? So now you see in the previous two examples, we have used direct formula, okay, for Taylor's expansion, okay? That means we have determined the coefficient a. Now for every such functions, okay, whenever you have some analytic function, this formula may not be very useful for generating Taylor's expansion, right? So rather than that, we'll utilize some standard formulas for expansion of these functions, and finally you will see you are getting an expansion, okay, which is of Taylor's form, okay? So let's see how to expand, right? So for this function, so it is z square minus of 1 divided by z plus 2, z plus 3, okay, which is analytic in the disk, given disk, okay? So by partial fraction, so let us break this in partial fraction. So according to the rule, you have already known the powers of numerator and denominator are same, so we have to add 1, okay? So a by z plus 2 plus b by z plus 3, okay? So from here we can write plus b times z plus 2, right? So this is a mathematical identity, right? So here I can put, say z is equal to minus 2. So if I substitute z equal to minus 2, so this becomes 0. This part also becomes 0. So what do you get? Is minus 2 square minus of 1 is equal to a times minus 2 plus 3. So what is the value of a you are getting? So 4 minus of 1, it is 3 equal to 8, right? 8 times 1. So the value of a is 3, right? So here we are getting a is equal to 3. Okay, now if we substitute z is equal to minus 3 over here, right, then what do you get? It is minus 3 square minus of 1, that is equal to, so this becomes 0, this also 0, so it is b times minus 3 plus 2, so it is 9 minus of 1, it is 8, okay, so it is minus of 1 times b, so the value of b is minus of 8, okay. So what is our function fz? You can see, so we can write the function fz as 1 plus 3 by z plus 2 and minus of 8 by z plus 2, okay. So we are going to expand this function fz. So fz is equal to 1 plus 3 by z plus 2 and minus of 8 by z plus 3. Okay, so where we are going to expand, it is mod z less than 2. Okay, in mod z less than 2, that means we have to expand in this disk, right? Okay, so here you can see, so here we are going to utilize these kinds of expansions. Okay, so 1 plus z power minus 1, what is the expansion of this? Which is valid in mod z less than 1. Okay, what is the expansion? You see, it is 1 minus of z plus z square and so on. So which can be written as minus 1 power n into z power of n. Okay, so we have another expansion, so which is 1 minus of z power minus 1, which is also valid in mod z less than 1. So this can be written as z power n, that is 1 plus z square, okay, and so on. Okay, so we are going to utilize these two expansions, right? Now you see, so here we have 3 by, so z plus 2, okay, so z plus 2, so here it is mod z is less than 2, so from the given information I can write this as z by 2 is strictly less than 1, okay. So if I take 2 over here, you'll see this can be written as 1 plus z by 2, okay. Similarly, since mod z is less than 2, so it is also less than 3, isn't it? So I can write this as z by 3 is less than 1, isn't it? So this is my u say, so mod of u is less than 1. So if mod of u is less than 1, I can expand 1 plus u power minus 1, okay, or 1 minus u power minus 1 in the region mod u less than 1, isn't it? Okay, so if I take 3 over here, you will see it is 1 plus z by 3, right? So what does it mean? You see it is 3 by 2. So we are getting this expansion, okay, minus of 8 by 3, 1 plus z by 3 power of minus 1. Okay, so this is your u. So 1 plus u in mod z less than 1, mod z by 2 less than 1. So I can expand this as 3 by 2. So what is the expansion? You see it is 1 plus u power minus 1. So whenever you have plus, here you have minus. So what is the expansion? It is minus 1 power n. Okay, it is u power n. So what is our u? It is z by 2. Okay, so z by 2 power n, right? So after that you are getting 8 by 3. So similarly you have 1 plus v power minus 1 say, and mod v is less than 1. So we can expand this in this form. So which is minus 1 power n 0 to infinity z by 3 power. Okay. So what does it mean? So here you can see it is minus 1 power n. So I can write this as 3 by 2 into 2 power n. So it is 2 power n plus 1 minus of 8 by 3 power n plus 1, okay, into z power n. Okay, so this is the expansion we are getting. So which is of Taylor's form, isn't it? So you are getting hz which is equal to summation of n equal to 0 to infinity. This is our n times z minus 0 power n. Okay, where it is valid, it is mod z less than 2. So this is the expansion we are getting. So this is how we utilize our known expansions. Okay, and finally you'll get a Taylor's expansion if the function fz is analytic in the given region. Okay, so let us go to the next example. Say z equal to z plus 1, z minus of 3, z minus of 4. Okay, in z minus of 2 less than 1. Okay, so where we need to expand, it is mod of z minus 2 less than 1. Okay, so there we have to find the expansion. Now first we'll determine whether we are going to get some Taylor's expansion, right? So according to Taylor's theorem, you have seen if the function fz is analytic in the region, okay, there you have a disk. Okay, so in the disk the function is analytic, then we can expand fz, we can get an expansion which is of Taylor's form, right? So what is the disk you see? So here we have a disk which is centered at 2 and with radius 1. Okay, so let's draw the region first. So here we have 0, it is 1 0, it is 2 0, right? So this is the point 2 0, 3 0, okay, right? So this is the disk which is centered at 2, okay, and with radius 1, okay, so this 1 0. Now you see what are the points of singularity of the function fz. It is at z equal to 3 and z equal to 4. Okay, none of them are belonging to our domain, right? Isn't it? So in the disk, the function is analytic because so it is mod z minus 2 strictly less than 1. Suppose you have mod z minus 2 less than or equal to 1. So in that case, 3 is the singularity which is situated over here. So which is included in the domain, right? So in that case, you cannot get a Taylor's expansion, right? But here you see our disk is mod of z minus 2 is strictly less than 1. That means 3, which is the singularity of the function fz, which is not included in the domain, right? So in this disk, the function is analytic. So what does it say? So Taylor's expansion says, Taylor's theorem says, we are going to get a Taylor's expansion if we expand the function fz within this domain with respect to the point 2, right? So let us try to expand. So what does it mean? So here we are going to get an expression which is of this form, isn't it? Okay, we are going to expand this with respect to the point z0. What is z0 here? It is 2. Okay, it is an z minus 2 power n. Okay, in this region, right? So let us try to expand. So before that, we are going to break it in partial fractions. Okay, so z plus 1 divided by z minus 3 to z minus 4. Okay, so that can be written as a by z minus 3 plus b by z minus of 4. Okay, so which is equal to plus b times z minus 3, right? So here if we put z is equal to 4, so this part would be 0. So it is 4 plus 1 equal to b times 4 minus 3. So what is your b here? Is equal to 5. Okay. Now for z equal to 3, what happens? So this becomes 0. So this is 4 and a times 3 minus of 4. So we are getting a as minus of 4, right? So our given function fz becomes minus 4 by z minus 3 as 5 by z minus 4. Okay. So where we have to expand, it is z minus 2 strictly less than, right? So that means we have to generate the powers of z minus 2, right? So we can write this as you see, z minus 2 minus of 1, okay, plus 5 times, this also can be written as z minus 2 minus of 2, okay. So here we have z minus 2 is strictly less than 1, right? So if I want to utilize one of these expansions, so we have to express these terms in these forms, right? So it is minus 1 power n z power n, okay, it is valid in mod z less than 1, okay. So here if I take minus 1, then what do you get? Is 1 minus of z minus 2, right? So here also, if you take minus 2, then what do you get? Okay, So now this becomes, so now, so here we have 1 minus z minus 2 power minus of 1, okay. So 5 by 2, 1 minus z minus 2 by 2 power minus of 1. Okay, now we'll see whether we can expand, right? So mod z minus 2 is less than 1. So this I can expand. Now what about this? Okay, what about this expansion? You see, since mod of z minus 2 is less than 1, so I can write this as less than 2. Okay, so this is z minus 2 by 2 is also less than 1. Okay, so this can be expanded in this form. Okay, so here we are going to use 1 minus z power minus 1, which is given by z power n 0 to infinity, that mod z is strictly less than 1. Okay, so here it is 4 times. So this is my u, right? 1 minus u power minus 1 is mod u less than 1. So it is equal to 0 to infinity. So here you have negative, here also it is negative power, right? So we are going to use this formula, that means just z minus 2 power n. Okay, after that it is 5 by 2, 0 to infinity is z minus 2 by 2 power n. Okay, so if you simplify, you will get, so we are getting a Taylor's expansion, okay, which is given by 4 minus 5 by 2 power n plus 1 times, okay. So you see fz is equal to summation of n equal to 0 to infinity n times z minus 2 power n, which is valid in mod z minus 2 less than 1. Okay, so in this case we are getting a Taylor's expansion because the function fz is analytic within this disk.